Paulson's YouTube, and it's the first video.
Okay. Okay, we're now live on YouTube, starting us up on Rumble, and then gonna get the music going. I don't even have my share screen up. I am completely unprepared. Where is it? There we go. Okay, there we go. Put that up. Where's the music? Get the music going. Hello, good morning, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for important and interesting happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you don't know you have. The sources of this information come from the website on thisday.com and the smart device applications, historical calendar, and today in history. For links to these sources and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar in the description below, and anything gathered throughout the show will appear post-live stream as usual. Anyway, I am Xander, and who am I joined with today?
King's Refuge.
Golden Moon.
And of course, you viewer are you. Today is Moon's Day, aka Monday, right? Today's Monday?
Today is Monday.
Today is Monday, okay. June 17th, 2024. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? Sir King, do you want to start us off in 653?
Can you go ahead? I'll let you know.
All right. 653 here, we have St. Martin I ended his reign as Catholic Pope. All right. And then 1397, the Union of Kalmar was established between Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. Huh. Union of Kalmar. Like, let me look that up here really quick. Like, was that like a political union, an economic union, a military union? The Kalmar Union. Okay, here we go. What is this? Let's see. Designed by widowed Queen Margaret of Norway and Sweden, it joined under a single monarch the three kingdoms of Denmark, Sweden, which was then including much of present-day Finland, and Norway. Didn't we talk about this the other day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because the map looks very familiar.
Yeah, with the tip of Iceland up there.
Yeah. Is that Iceland or Greenland? That's Iceland.
I believe it's Iceland.
I don't know. Anyway. 1462, Vlad III, the Impaler, the inspiration for Dracula, attempted to assassinate Mehmed II during an event that later became known as the Night Attack. His failure forced him to retreat from Wallachia. So... good old Vlad the Impaler. Did he murder his son? I think so. So, and I see KR is on camera. Hey, we have all of us here. Yeah.
And we're all on camera at the same time. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I do gotta get a new camera eventually when finances allow. Anyway, 1497. You want to take this one?
All right, 1497. Battle of Deptford Bridge. Forces under the King Henry VII soundly defeat Cornish rebels led by Michael and Goth.
Huh. All right. And that's in there because they're rebels. You know, the rebellion got crushed, unfortunately. So, yeah. We got a trial here. Ooh.
1535 trial of English Catholic Cardinal John Fisher for treason, declared by Henry VIII as not the supreme head of the Church of England at Westminster Hall, found guilty and later hanged.
Yikes. Well, Henry VIII, was a bloodthirsty psychopath, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, something from my neck of the woods here.
Yeah, 1579, English navigator Francis Drake lands on the coast of California by Drake's Bay, named it New Albion.
Huh. So I wonder, was the bay named New Albion, or was the state, the region, named New Albion? So,
is there a New Albion section of California?
Let's check here. New Albion. There is.
Never heard of that.
New Albion, also known as Nova Albion, in reference to an archaic name for Britain, was the name of the continental area north of Mexico claimed by Sir Francis Drake for England when he landed in North America in 1579. This claim became the justification for English charters across America to the Atlantic coast and soon influenced further national expansion projects on the continent. Drake's landing site has been identified as Drake's Cove, which is part of the Point Reyes National Seashore. So it's way up there. That's north of San Francisco. Look at that.
Yeah.
Actually, what the...
It's a little south.
That's
San
weird.
Francisco. for all practical purposes.
This is weird. Like, it shows me where New Albion is on the map right here.
Yeah.
I click the map, and it just shows me California. It doesn't show me where...
Huh.
That's weird. But it's, like, up in this area.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Oh, okay. It's up there.
Yeah. Well, like, because you can see
it's getting
here...
closer to Eureka up there.
Yeah. Wasn't Eureka, like, up here somewhere? Or, like...
Could have been a little bit higher.
I thought Eureka and Arcadia, they're up here.
Could be.
So...
Could be. They're fairly far up. They're, quite a ways up, actually.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you're planning on touring California, do not stop by Eureka or Arcadia. They are, well, they're nothing. Like, they're little townships.
They're small cities.
No,
one's a
not
small
even
town,
cities.
one's a small city.
They're both small
There's
towns.
nothing wrong with them. No.
Well, I mean, like,
don't.
I'm not shitting on them. I'm just saying.
Yes, you are.
Well, there's nothing to do. Other than staring at all the people, like, wandering around aimlessly because they don't have anything to do either.
Come on.
So, anyway, what do we got here?
Certainly go whitewater rafting.
Well, yeah. 1631 here. Mumtaz Mahal died during childbirth. Her husband, Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan I, then spent the next 2 decades, or over 20 years, building her tomb, the Taj Mahal. So this is when she died, and the Taj Mahal is a tomb. Like, the great structure here. 1700, Massachusetts ordered priests to leave the colony. Is that supposed to be priests or priest? And if it's one priest, what did that one priest do? So, let's see here. Is this going to actually tell us? 1700. Let's see here. In June, Massachusetts passed a law ordering all Roman Catholic priests to leave the colony within 3 months upon penalty of life imprisonment or execution. New York then passed a similar law. Wow, that's a bit extreme.
That's religious war for you.
Yeah. Well, specifically against things that are Catholic. So, we also have, in 1755, future explorer James Cook joined the Royal Navy as an able-bodied seaman at Wapping, East London. Good old James Cook.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Wapping, right?
Wapping?
Wapping?
Wapping.
Well, it's a day, so it's not Wapping, it's Wapping. What the hell kind of a name is Wapping? That sounds
hilarious. The way you say it is all I know.
I don't know, but it sounds like slang for something else. 1769, though, the design of the Madonnina statue was chosen, symbol of the city of Milan that stands atop spire of the cathedral, designed by sculptor Giuseppe Perego. This design of Madonnina statue. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Madonnina. Let's see if we can get a picture of this Madonnina statue. Interesting. Or images. Okay. Oh, this one here. Okay. Looks like it's clad in gold or something. Interesting looking statue. Anyway, 1775. We got a pretty historically good event here for you.
Yeah. 1775, Battle of Bunker Hill. Actually, it was Breeds Hill.
Huh. So what we know as Bunker Hill is actually Breeds Hill. I don't know why they called it Bunker Hill. So, yeah.
It rolls off the tongue better, I think.
I guess so. Well.
1788, after a lengthy stay in Europe, future U.S. President John Adams and his wife Abigail Adams returned to Boston.
Oh. All right. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. So.
Well, you would stay there a long time because it took a long time to get there.
Oh yeah.
You weren't going for a couple of days.
No. Yeah. No. You'd be like people didn't travel. Like, traveling and going on vacation and stuff is yet again another more like recent thing. Like.
Well,
I mean,
along with technology and affluence, there you go.
Well, like what you were in some city in Arizona or something years ago. You were talking to some guy who was a mechanic or whatever, and he was 50 or something, and he said he had never left the town. Like his entire life.
Northern Arizona, small town up there.
Yeah, he had never left the town.
I lived in for a while.
Yeah.
He had never left the town. Not even gone over the hill to the local next town.
Yeah, no, that boggles my. How can you spend your entire life?
I was blown away.
And like in today's world, How do you spend your entire life in one town? Don't go on vacation. Don't no. What?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I was blown away.
I mean, like, people did that for thousands of
It
years.
was 40 years ago, but
Yeah.
nevertheless.
Yeah. We have another one here. This is interesting. 1824 here.
1824, U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs established.
I wonder if that's for Native Americans. U.S. Bureau for Native American Affairs, because that's what we called them back then, the Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it would be, Indian Affairs. That's the Bureau of it. Still exists today, I believe.
I believe so, yeah. But I mean, like, I can't imagine why in 1824 our country would be giving a rat's ass about India.
No, this is the as we say today, the indigenous people.
Yeah, the Native Americans. So.
Yeah.
But then in 1837 here we have Charles Goodyear obtained his first rubber patent. Huh. Yeah. 1839, King of Hawaii, Kamehameha III, issued Edict of Toleration, which gave Roman Catholics freedom to worship in the Hawaiian Islands. The Hawaii Catholic Church and the Cathedral of Our Lady of Peace was later established. Mm-hmm. So we went from Massachusetts, who were chasing them out, to Hawaii, who was bringing them in.
Well, they accepted them. They allowed them to.
Yeah, well, that's bringing them in. Like, they're not actively
bringing them in.
But they're allowing them in. It would be a better term. So. 1856, though, Republican Party opened its first national convention. The party members met in Philadelphia. All right, so the first RNC, Republican National Convention.
Oh, okay.
On this date in 1856.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But what do we got here in 1863? Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on a second. Where is it? There it is. Okay.
1863, Travelers Insurance Co. of Hartford chartered first accidental insurer.
The first accident insurer. Here we go. The camel's nose. And now we have insurance, forming. Like insurance is the biggest scam. Well, not the biggest scam, but a really big scam. You pay into something that doesn't pay you back. They look for any reason to weasel out of doing what they promised you. And now by law, you have to have insurance for all these things. Like, can anyone say scam? So. But see here, 1880. Where is it? 1880. Is it this one? Here we go. Yeah. Oh, cool. You get two ones that spark your interest here.
1880, Providence Braves MLB pitcher John M. Ward throws a perfect game, beating the Buffalo Bison 5-0. Second perfect game in National League in 6 days. Next one takes place 84 years.
Wow.
Man.
So can you imagine having a perfect game, 6 days later another perfect game, and then 84 years later another? That is a big spread, right there. But the Buffalo Bisons, that's a name. Like, aren't those the same creature, or are buffalo different than bison? Like,
I believe it's the same creature.
Let me look at this. Are buffalo bison? What's the difference between a bison and a buffalo? Here we go. Let's see here. It is not difficult to distinguish between them, especially if you focus on the 3H: home, hump, and horns. Okay.
So there is a little difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is weird. I scroll down. I'm looking at a bison.
Yeah.
I scroll down. Suddenly, there are swastikas. Whoa. Okay. What happened here?
Whoa.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, the hump allows the bison's head to function as a plow, sweeping away drifts of snow in the winter. The next telltale sign concerns the horns. Buffalo tend to have large horns. Some have reached more than 6 feet. Wow. Whoa. With very pronounced arcs. The horns of bison, however, are much shorter and sharper. And if you want to throw a bee into the mix, you can check for a beard. Bison are the hipsters of the two animals, sporting thick beards. Buffalo are beardless. Huh, so
that's a bison we're looking at right there. Short horns, hump. The big hump back there for plowing snow. I'm guessing that's a bison.
Yeah, but it's saying beards, so I can't really tell if that's...
Can't tell that, but there's
that looks
beard.
like...
There's a beard.
Yeah.
So, but it says... why can't I exit? Oh, here we go. It opened that up in another tab. Bison. So this is a bison, not a buffalo.
That's what I said, a bison.
Oh, okay. Huh. All right. And then you got another one here in 1882.
Oh, 1882 tornado kills 130 in Iowa. Ooh.
Yikes.
Woo.
Did you get it?
No, I didn't get it. Damn thing's still rolling around here.
So you're not the Karate Kid.
Yeah. Those mosquitoes are tricky.
Yeah. 1885 here, though, we have the Statue of Liberty arrived in New York City aboard the French ship yesteryear. So
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was 10 years after the first centennial. 1775 to 1875, 1885.
The Statue of Liberty. Later, that is true. Yeah. I didn't realize the statue came that late.
Yeah.
I would have put it back earlier in the 1800s.
Yeah, well, this is the 1800s, but
earlier. That's 1885. I would have said 1805 or something.
Well, no, that's way too early. No,
obviously.
Like, as you know, the Statue of Liberty was actually created by Eiffel. Like, I think Charles Eiffel or whatever his first name is. I don't remember. Gustav Eiffel. I don't know.
Eiffel is correct. Yeah.
But the same guy who made the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, of course.
You know, as we know. And it was created for the United States as a gift for our 100-year anniversary. And
I knew it was a gift from France, but I didn't know it was for 100 years.
It was displayed in France, and then it finally came to us 10 years later, and it actually was like laid in a storage yard for a while and almost was forgotten until somebody uncovered it somehow just by happenstance, and then they built it. So, because actually, when was the Statue of Liberty constructed? Let's see, Statue of The Statue of Liberty was built in France between 1875 and 1884, so it took 9 years, and it was disassembled and shipped to New York City in 1885.
When was it assembled in New York?
It was reassembled on Liberty Island in 1886.
Not a long time, but a year later.
Yeah.
It was shipped in 85. Assembled in 86. So it is a year.
Yeah, well, I remember hearing somewhere, and not just once, but multiple times, that it was just put in some storage facility and forgotten about. But that can't be within a year. You know, you can't just forget about something like that in a year. So, I don't know. Anyway, 1894, we have the first U.S. Poliomyelitis epidemic broke out in Rutland, Vermont. Yeah, polio. Here we go.
Oh, man. That is a horror picture for me.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being a kid, seeing this in a magazine or wherever I saw it? I don't remember. But I remember this exact picture. It's called an iron lung.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in it the rest of your life.
Yeah. Your life is
scared the hell out of me.
Oh, as it should. Like, that's terrifying. Like,
well, that brings back stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, I knew exactly. As I saw the word polio here, I knew you'd freak out.
I didn't have to see a word. I knew exactly what that picture was.
Well, before I even scrolled down to show you, I saw this.
What year was that again?
1894. So, long time ago.
Yeah. Well, that picture wasn't in 1894. Polio was discovered then.
Yeah, bless you. Hey, nice hat.
This mosquito keeps getting me.
Yeah.
I had to go put a bug spray. Alright, where we at?
We are now in 1896.
Alright, 1896. Polar explorer Fridtjof Nansen and Frederick Jackson meet by chance in France. Friends? Joseph Land? The Arctic.
Man, you want to talk about small world syndrome? Like, can you imagine two explorers just going on their own things, just by chance meeting up in the Arctic? Like, wow! Like, what are the chances? Like, well, obviously,
I know that guy.
For it to happen, but still, like, yeah.
Oh, 1898, the United States Navy Hospital Corps established.
Oh, okay. The hospital ships and all that whatnot.
Yeah.
And actually, like, didn't they, recently, like, during the 2019 to current, like, although I haven't seen a lot of hoopla involving all of the Kung Flu and all that stuff recently, but like wasn't the Queen Mary used as a hospital ship for a while, like, quarantine and
you know what, I think you're right.
Yeah, like, obviously a lot of cruise ships and all that stuff were like docked in ports and everything, but
yeah,
And there's a video out there explaining because during the whole shutdown, it was really interesting. You know, because like the entire cruise industry, obviously, you know, had to shut down everything. Well, what do you do with the entire industry of cruise ships that are all over the world, in the ocean and all over the place, with a crew from all over the world? Where do you go and how do you send all the crew back home? It was a massive logistics, nightmare. And there's a video that explained it. Very interesting, very smart how they did it.
True
Like,
enough, yeah.
because they obviously, like all these ships still went around the world without passengers and disembarked until they had just enough people to go to one last port, and then they had everything like organized, these people go back home at this point, and everything, and it's astonishing how they did that. But yeah, awesome. The Navy Hospital Corps, cool. Oh, we have College Board here. Ooh, here we go. This is
1901. The College Board introduces its first standardized test, the forerunner to the SATs.
Yeah. Yep. The SATs, where you sat down to fail.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Moving on to
19.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want to go ahead?
No, you go.
1902, U.S. Congress passed the new Lands Reclamation Act, which established a fund from sale of public lands to build irrigation dams and for arid western lands.
This is how things start. Like, they dammed up a whole bunch of stuff and caused all sorts of problems, for the western farmlands and all that stuff. Yeah. Like what became known later as what's it called? The Salton Sea. Yeah. That all happened because of various damming. There used to be a river that fed into that, and then that in turn fed back in the ocean, and it's all salty because nothing's traveling out of it again. Right?
Not quite right, but I'm not pulling back exactly how this salt created, but I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, you're basically that whole area, which is basically desert, but it's phenomenal. Other than outside the Salton Sea, it's phenomenal growing soil, and there's a lot of agriculture out there. And the reason why is because everybody knows Hoover Dam up there by Las Vegas. All that used to come down and run right through there. Yeah. And when it got excessive, it would flood and bring down all the topsoil.
Yeah.
Now it's all gone. Can't get that back. Although they use nutrients to keep it alive.
Now, we have it here. After 1999, the lake began to shrink as local agriculture used the water more efficiently, so less runoff flowed into the lake. As the lake bed became exposed, the wind sent clouds of toxic dust into nearby communities. Smaller amounts of dust reached into the Los Angeles area, and people there could sometimes smell an odor coming from the lake. Wow, all the way out to L.A. Holy. The state is mainly responsible for fixing the problems. California lawmakers pledged yada, 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 yada. So basically, yeah, like agriculture, not essentially damming and all that stuff, but we get more efficient in one way, and we get less efficient in another, and we cause all this problems and everything. But anyway, moving on up into 1915, the League to Enforce Peace. What a name, the League to Enforce Peace. We will force you to be peaceful. You will be peaceful at gunpoint.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I didn't think of it, but I didn't catch it.
Yeah. Is organized.
That's hilarious.
Is organized at Independence Hall in Philadelphia with William Howard Taft as president. His program anticipates the League of Nations. So there you go. You will be peaceful by force. That's very League of Nations-y, aka United Nations. So now this is a name, 1919. This blew my mind. Barney Google. What? Barney Google.
That sounds familiar.
Well, Barney the dinosaur, and then there's Google.
Oh, maybe that's it.
But Google, it's the company, the search engine, and all that stuff is named after the number sequence at Googleplex.
Oh, is that what I didn't know that.
Which is 1 followed by 26 zeros or something, a Googleplex.
Okay.
So they're named after Google because they're a Googleplex of results. Or so they say.
Okay,
yeah.
But I didn't know that. That's kind of cool to know.
But it's wild to see something that far back, 1919. Barney Google, like before Barney the dinosaur or Google existed. How the hell did they come up with that name? That's weird.
It is.
But anyway, the cartoon strip by Billy DeBeek premiered. So I gotta look this up here. 1919, Barney Google. 1919, Barney Google. That's a weird. Yeah, here it is, Google.
Yeah.
So, huh? Yeah, he looks like a Barney Google. So, huh?
That looks familiar. I don't know why.
And his horse's
But also,
name's
what's the guy
Sparkplug.
that eats hamburgers all the time?
That's Wimpy from
Wimpy
Popeye.
From Popeye, yeah.
I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday.
He does
for a
look like
hamburger
Wimpy.
today. Speaking of which, I have 4 sliders left in the freezer. I'm gonna have that for lunch. 1922 here, we have the first flight across the South Atlantic Ocean arrived in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, piloted by Cago Colihano and Sakura Cabral. First use of the sextant in air navigation. And for those who do not know what a sextant is, it is a navigation tool utilizing, it's analog. You utilize the sun and you change the angles and you figure out where you are on the planet.
Yep.
So, really remarkable, the ingenuity and what we did back in the day before actual technology or antiquated technology to us these days. But like marine sextant, you have your shades, horizon.
But you don't need a satellite.
Yeah, but all of these things all worked in conjunctions. You move everything and you're like, oh, we're on this longitude, this latitude, whatever on the face of the earth with a hunk of metal that you. Mind blowing how they figured this stuff out. Amazing.
Hey,
so
the day may be coming when we need to use it again.
Well, that's why I say those who are completely and totally reliant on technology, you're just putting yourself into a position where you'll be screwed the instant we will, not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, we'll get hit by a solar flare or something,
Yeah.
And raise your hand if you know how to read a Thomas guide. Raise your hand.
Oh, I do.
Raise your hand. Do you know how to read a Thomas guide,
No.
King? Oh, I gotta train you then. So, do you know what a Thomas guide is?
I reckon it's for ship navigation.
Nope.
Street maps.
It's a big book of maps, and it shows you right here. This is page 49. Is A B C D E F and then 1 2 3 4. So you basically you go this is Google Maps or MapQuest or anything before the digital age. This is analog.
Yeah.
You get a map.
GPS.
Yeah. Essentially,
Analog
it shows
GPS.
you okay, I go to this page to go here. I go to that page to go there, and so you it's a map.
Yeah.
Let's just say I always had one in my car. You never know where you're going to have to go,
Yeah.
and that's how you figure out how to get there.
We still
That'd be a
have
lot better than those big ass maps that you're trying to unfold
Oh yeah, no. This is it's to prevent doing all that. So now you have pages, so that way you can go in individual pages.
You look back in the guide and you look up the address. It'll tell you the page and location. Like page 83D6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do we got here? 1928, Amelia Earhart left Newfoundland to become the first woman passenger. So she wasn't piloting, but she was a passenger, but still the first woman to fly the Atlantic as a passenger in a plane piloted by Wilmer Stoltz. So the first woman, but I wonder if she became the first woman to fly as well. So, first woman to fly the Atlantic. Let me look that up here.
Yeah, look it up.
Fly.
It's first woman to fly.
First woman to this is the first woman to fly over the Atlantic, but not as the pilot.
Right, and the question you asked was she the first woman to fly?
To pilot.
To pilot.
Yeah.
Not over the Atlantic, but just was she the first to fly in the air?
Well, no, she's not. Absolutely not.
How do you know that?
Well, because it's 1928. First female pilot. Timeline of women in aviation. Okay, let's see here. June 4th, 1784.
Oh, way earlier. Yeah.
Marie Elizabeth Thimble of France became the first woman to fly in a hot air balloon.
Oh,
okay.
that doesn't count.
Okay.
Let's airplane.
November 10th, 1798, Jeanne Lambros becomes the first woman to pilot an aircraft solo. But
There we go.
1798. I didn't know they were flying.
I don't think so. That can't be. That has to be a balloon again. Yeah, we're still talking about balloons
Oh yeah,
in 1888.
balloons.
Okay, here we go. 1903, Ida D'Acosta of the United States is the first woman to pilot a motorized aircraft, a dirigible, solo.
Ah.
Okay,
A
there
dirigible.
you go.
So it's still a balloon. It's not a plane, but it's still an
1903.
aircraft.
Wait a minute, 19. Does that say
It's
1903?
It's a dirigible.
What is that?
It's a
Dirigible.
Oh,
It's a dirigible. Here, like an airship. This a zeppelin, a dirigible.
yeah.
So it's not an
Ah,
aircraft.
that's
Aircraft. Well, it's still an aircraft, but it's not an airplane.
But 1903 is way late.
Well,
Fucking-
it's motorized.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Not,
Okay.
Not what I had in mind.
We still have balloon here. Okay, it says here May through June of 1908, Miley P. van Poltersburg de la Poterie, what a name, of Belgium, flew with Henry Farman on several short flights at an air show in Ghent, Belgium, becoming the first woman passenger on an airplane. So that's passenger. Okay, here we go. September 1908. Thérèse Pelletier, a sculptor of France, made the first solo flight by a woman in an airplane in Turin, Italy, flying around 200 meters in a straight line, about 2.5 miles or meters, 8 feet 2 inches off the ground. So that she's the first woman pilot ever, 1908. So there we go.
Okay.
In an actual airplane,
Yeah.
not a dirigible, not a balloon, not this, not that. In an airplane, and
Hey,
fixed-wing motorized aircraft.
We gave her
So-
kudos.
Yes. It took
Yes.
us a while to find
Yeah,
it, but
no
yeah, there we
kidding. She
go.
was buried.
Yeah. And then right here, October 7th of 1908, Edith Ogilvy Berg, business manager in Europe for the Wright brothers, becomes the first American woman to fly as a passenger. So,
As a passenger.
but American woman.
Yeah.
So there's already has been a woman
Yeah.
as a passenger. Now this is specifically an American woman as a passenger. So, but anyway, that answers that question. Let's move on up into 1930 here. Actually, continuing. This is. Oh wait, no. This is correct. Here we go. So this is just for you, actually, Loon. I got to add this.
No.
Read only if.
No,
Loon
no,
is
no, no, no,
present.
no, don't even. I'm leaving the room. I'm not here.
Go for
Wow,
it.
boys.
Help
Oh,
me
man.
torture.
That's Loon's favorite sport. 1930, continuing a rich vein of former Australian cricket icon Don Bradman scores 131 in first test versus England at Trenton Bridge, Nottingham.
Cricket.
Cricket.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You gonna put the hosey what's in the koozie waffles?
Yeah. What else do we got? 32.
1932, bonus army. Sweet.
Yeah.
Around 1,000 World War I veterans amassed at the United States Capitol, and the U.S. Senate considers a bill that would give them certain benefits.
Yeah, they were veterans of World War I, as it said, and they marched because they were not getting, once again, the VA not doing what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
I don't even know if the VA existed then.
well, not yet, but whatever it was,
Yeah.
anything kind of like
They
it.
weren't getting any help for putting their
You
life
know-
on the line.
By the way, can you hand me that hat
You know-
there in that box, really quick? I'm feeling, my head is feeling kind of naked. I'm seeing KR here with his hat, with his headphones, so I gotta mimic him.
So,
You know, my
So-
hat with my
so-
headphones. So
I got a new thought.
there we go.
Since you bring up the VA
Yeah.
and how we just brought up a bill on whether or not we're going to draft women.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so let's say it goes through, right?
Yeah.
Women start to complain.
Oh yeah, and
But the VA gets better.
yeah. No, like
Because they're not, obviously they're not listening to men.
yeah. Well, yeah. So if that happens, the results actually will happen because like women always get their way. So
Yeah.
I have a question. I wonder how many men fought in World War I and World War II.
Oh my.
That's a good question.
Oh,
Let me look that up here really quick.
I mean, Patton was in one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
World War I?
Yeah, Patton was in World War One. So was Hitler.
Yeah.
So was I think Winston Churchill fought in World War One as well.
He didn't fight in World War II, though.
No, but he was involved.
Well, yeah, he was the Prime Minister of England.
How many World War One veterans fought in World War II? That is an excellent question. How many served in the beginning of World War II? Yeah, so we have Hitler, as I said, Hasso von Manteuffel, Karl Donitz, Heinz Wilhelm Gudesen, Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, Fear von Bock, and these are all Axis leaders.
Yeah.
And then allies, we of course have Patton, Douglas MacArthur, Bernard Montgomery. I knew Monty served.
Yeah. MacArthur too. I didn't think of it.
Mark W. Clark, Roy Stanley Geiger, and these are all the notable people. But we're not going to know.
It's hard to say. I don't even know if you have to on that.
Well, it says here. Out of the 12,209,238 million men, so 12.2 million men and women who served in the United States military during World War II, 997,000 went on to fight in the Korean War, and 347,000 of that number also fought in the Vietnam War. 291,000 U.S. military personnel served in all three wars. So World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Wow, what a career!
How could you? From World War I to Korea?
No, two.
From World War II.
We're talking about
that's better. World War I. No way.
No, it went on, from World War II to Korea to Vietnam.
Okay. Yeah. That I can see.
But this is not telling me, because I'm browsing this really quick, but I'm not seeing any numbers here. Yeah, 1987, another one erupting in 2010. Yeah, well, like I was saying here, the difference between World War I and II is essentially the same difference between 1987 to 2010. So, 1987 is when I was born. So, imagine a war breaking out the year I was born, and then another war breaking out in 2010 when I would have been been out of college for about a year or so.
Well, wait a second. World War I ended in 1917?
18.
Let's call it 1920.
No, I know for a fact it's
I know, but I mean, I'm
1918.
just for math. So 1920 to 1930 is only 20 years, so 30 years.
No, hold on a second.
It is 30 years between them, approximately.
21 years. You're way off. Because World War I ended in 1918, World War II started in 1939.
Okay, so that's 20 years.
21.
21. Well,
21.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would fight in both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Grandpa Bill, fought in World War II, and he was already, he was in his 30s. He was already up there in age.
They called him back in because he was a pilot.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's move on up into 1933. This one's an eyebrow raiser.
Ooh, 1933 Kansas City massacre. 1 FBI agent, 4 cops, and 1 gangster killed by mob.
Wow. Oh. So I guess the mobster, unless it was an accident, I guess the mobster might have been the target. I'm not sure. Because,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 1938, here we go.
1938, Japan declares war on China.
Here we go. I would have sworn that they were there way before. Well, they were conquering all these other places and everything. I think they officially declared war later on, but Japan was in China for a long time.
Yeah, they sure were.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, there's this one scene, actually. Let's see if I can find it really quick. Slap. I don't condone saying this. Calling these people this line. Let's see here. If I can find it really quick.
So, well, let me tell you something. A fucking bucktooth cartoon sells soap. Well, let me tell you something. The Jap I know, the Japanese soldier. He has been at war since you were in fucking diapers! He's a combat veteran, an expert with his weapon. He can live off of maggoty rice and muddy water for weeks and endure misery you couldn't dream up in your worst nightmare!
Yeah, like, you know, that is very powerful. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, we had no idea the people we were going against. You know, like, and he said something before it that I don't want, you know, to be on this show, because he was going on about, like, their depictions in the cartoons and everything, you know, with the buck teeth and all that stuff and whatnot. But, like, you know, we were so ignorant of, you know, the battle-hardened, tried-and-true Japanese soldier, like.
Yeah.
But we got a real strong education, you know, when they just wouldn't surrender. Like, we had to zap Brannigan, you know, the thing, just throw wave after wave of men until there was nothing left. Like, so, yeah, real hard stuff there. Anyway, let me close out some of these tabs really quick. Let's move on up here. 1939. This is interesting here.
1939, last public guillotine in France. Eugene Wildman, a convicted murderer, is guillotined in
Versailles.
Versailles? Outside Versailles?
It's pronounced
Outside?
Versailles, like the Treaty of Versailles. No. Yeah.
Versailles. Okay. Outside the prison, Saint Pierre.
So the last public guillotining in France, though. Like, I don't think if that's the last public guillotining ever. But actually, yeah, 1939, what's this? No, the last... I seem to remember something involving an execution, it's the gallows, so the hanging. The last public hanging was the same year that the original Star Wars came out.
Oh.
I believe.
Really?
Yeah. Like, let me see if I can do a surface level search. Last public execution, Star Wars. You know, if this will come up. Did France's last public execution by guillotine? Oh, this is a fact check crap. Here we go. They're saying false, but so it has to be true. If the fact checkers are saying it's not, then it is. That's just my rule of thumb. But anyway. That was a dead-end research thing. Let's move on up here to 1940. That's
1940. 1940, France asked Germany for terms of surrender in World War II.
Yeah, so France was surrendering. They're like, oh, what do you want? You know, like, we want everything.
Unconditional surrender.
Yep. But we got another one. Here we go.
1940, General de Gaulle departs Bordeaux for London.
Bordeaux. Yeah, for London.
Bordeaux if you do, but Bordeaux if you don't.
Yeah. But this is, you know, de Gaulle, you know, going to his French government in exile, you know, after his country got taken over and all that stuff. We talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Moving on up to 1944 here, Hitler secretly met with Field Marshals von Rundstedt and Rommel in Margiville, Soissons, France, to assess response to Normandy invasion. So, here, wow, they're way late with that. This is 11 days later.
Yeah, no.
So, wow. So now they're talking about it?
That's one of the flaws with Hitler, is when he decided that this is what was going to happen,
yeah,
you couldn't sway him differently.
Well, what was really, you know, like, really stupid of Hitler is that, like, he created an environment of fear.
Yeah.
And he routinely, like, slept in until, you know, noon or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, he routinely, like, he had the sleeping schedule of a gamer, essentially. But nobody wanted to wake him up during the invasion. Like, the German high command, you know, they're like, oh, we're getting invaded, but don't tell the big guy. Like, you know, that exemplifies just the level of fear everybody under him was in, where they're getting a massive invasion, but they don't even want to risk, you know, waking him up.
Yeah,
it's like,
don't wake up Dad. Oh, he'll be pissed.
Don't wake Daddy. Yeah. Yikes, man. Like, that's kind of the same thing as, like, you know, Stalin, during the Great Purge and creating an environment of fear and everything. Then he had a stroke. He chased all the doctors away, and he was the instrument of his own demise.
Yeah.
Thank God. But as soon as you start ruling people with fear, you're doing things wrong. So. In 1944 as well, Iceland dissolved its union with Denmark and declared itself a republic. Huh. So that's interesting. And that kind of plays in, earlier,
With that map.
Yeah, with that union or whatever. So I wonder if all the way till then, if they were under that union, and this is the dissolution of that.
I doubt if they were connected the way you're kind of saying, but it could have been the seed for this.
Yeah. Anyway, 1945 here, we have the Day of Unity in West Germany, the National Day. So, after Germany was partitioned and all that stuff. Anyway, moving on up to 1946, what do we got here?
1946, Southwest Bell inaugurates mobile telephone commercial service in St. Louis.
Mobile telephones in 1946.
Sweet.
Mobile telephones.
Unbelievable.
That is the wealthy of the wealthy. Yeah. Let me see it. The 1946.
1940s. Wow.
How would
How's that possible? Well, we do have walkie-talkies in the Army.
Well, yeah.
No, true.
Yeah, but this is.
Wow, that looks way beyond 40s. I'm not
Yeah,
buying
no, that's the 80s brick.
Okay.
But
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, walkie-talkies aren't technically phones. They just operate on radio waves. Anybody can pick up and
But some sort of
transmit.
technology, wireless technology was there.
Yeah.
Is my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not a phone.
Yeah, are radio waves wireless technology? Because
If we learn to talk to one another without wires, yes.
yeah, but I mean, aren't radio waves a natural phenomenon? Because interstellar objects like the sun transmits radio waves. It's just a sound,
Yeah, but we learned how to use it. That's
Yeah.
the point.
But we didn't invent it. We just learned how to operate it.
Yeah.
So it's not really an invention. It's more like a hijacking, if anything, of a natural phenomenon. So
Well,
yeah,
anytime
actually,
you
hold
learn
on
how
a
to
second.
do something, you've invented it.
Well,
Something unknown before is invented, whether it's natural or not.
I mean, the way to use it would be an invention, yes, but you're not inventing the actual. Well, anyway, what is this? We have more pictures. The first mobile long-distance car-to-car telephone conversation. So it was a car phone. A Bell Labs team worked with more than a decade to create what they termed a primitive wireless network capable of transmitting phone calls. Initially just a huge party line. Subscribers had to listen for someone to be on the line before placing a call. The network was used sparingly as it could not handle large volumes. It was also much less than a mobile, as the required equipment weighed at 80 pounds. So it was a car phone.
So it originally started as a car phone.
80 pounds?
Has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
That's incredible.
Yeah.
46.
46. September 11th, 46. So that's later. Huh. So I wonder what's the difference between June 17th in 46 until September 11th, 46. Huh. All right.
Probably they put it in the car.
True. I'm wondering, do we have any comments on any sources? Nope. Anyway, what else do we got here in 1947? Here we go.
1947, Pan Am Airways, first round the world civil air service, leaves New York City.
Huh. Pan America. All right.
Right.
And
1950, first kidney transplant, Chicago. Wow.
Wow. Nice.
You think that's
awesome.
only, 50, 60, 70 years, 73 years ago?
Almost 75, 74. 50,
Yes,
50
wow.
to 24, 74 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember the first heart transplant.
Yeah.
Talk about a big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, man, I remember
that was a big deal.
yeah.
That was in the 70s, wasn't it?
I think it was earlier than that.
Maybe, yeah, it's late 70s, early 70s, late 60s.
67, December 3rd,
Okay,
1967.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. That is a long time ago. Wow.
Yeah.
But see, here, and I don't know what to call this, but this is weird. We sit here and we look back at things like this. We're like, wow, that's early, but is it really? Or
Not to me, it's not early.
But I mean, like what I'm saying is the technology came out at that time, and that is indisputable. So are we looking back and we're astonished at how early it was, or are we astonished because we are not going as fast as technology used to be? We're kind of slowly coming to a sputter, as far as major technological breakthroughs like that,
I think.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I disagree with you. I think it's the opposite. I think with technology, we exponentially advance much quicker.
We do.
Now, it looks phenomenal because you're talking about a basic, but technology will advance much quicker. The more technology you get, the quicker it's going to advance.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
creates technology. But these are basic things. They're easy things to identify. Whoa!
Yeah.
They did this.
But what I'm saying is, why do we look back at things like this and we're surprised when it happened?
Yeah.
Like, it's there. It happened,
Yeah.
It's not anything new. It's been around for, 70 years or whatever. Why are we so shocked that it was so far away? Like, I don't know.
That.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it better. Anyway, 1950 as well. We have a couple of these.
1950, Egypt, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, and Syria signed security pact.
Huh.
Find what?
They signed a security pact.
Oh.
And that has to be something involving Israel, I would say. Because, Egypt, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, and Syria, they're all around that same area, and Israel,
True.
Is a conquerous nation, so, yeah. What else do we got here in 1950? This one's pretty cool in the field of sports.
1953, most runs scored in one inning, 17 by the Red Sox.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about baseball, but that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were they playing? Children or something? How do you have that?
A very high
much
number.
slide?
17 runs in a game is a lot.
Yeah, let alone one inning. 1953 as well, U.S. Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas stayed executions of spies Julius and Ethel Roseberg, scheduled for next day, their 14th anniversary. So they were spying on behalf of the Soviet Union, trying to get nuclear secrets. And
they were executed.
Whatever. Yeah, they were. But it sounds like they stayed the execution. So what does that mean? They postponed it, or they?
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounded like.
They
1950.
stayed because they went back into court.
Okay. 1954 here, CIA Exile Army landed in Guatemala, organized by John Foster Dulles and United Fruit Company. Does this have anything to do with the banana wars? I wonder, because this was some kind of, here we go, Guatemalan coup d'etat. Here we go. This, I believe, well, the U.S. has had so much shadow involvement in countries all across the world. It's astonishing. Let's hear. The 1954 Guatemalan coup d'etat deposed the democratically elected Guatemalan president Jacob Arbenz and marked the end of the Guatemalan Revolution. The coup installed the military dictatorship of Carlos Castillo Armas, the first in a series of U.S.-backed authoritarian rulers in Guatemala. The coup was largely the result of a CIA covert operation codenamed PB Success. So we literally went in there and we overthrew a democratically elected leader for a fascist. We did that. What the hell? What the hell? What, we didn't have enough problems, so now we're trying to cause, other countries to go into even more third worldness? Maybe. So, but yeah, the U.S. is, I mean, you can call us the greatest nation on earth, but we're also one of the most evil and corrupt.
Yeah,
with what we do to the other countries, what we do on a world stage, all the shadow things, all the things like this, things like all this stuff, installing, we were behind the whole thing in Ukraine, back in 2010, 2014, we went in there, we got rid of the pro-Russian guy and put in the guy in there now.
Yeah.
We were behind all that.
Yes.
We are the cause of what's going on right now in Ukraine. We, the U.S. So for however good we are, we're just as much evil. You know, you can disagree with me all you want, but the facts are there. So, what else do we got here in 1954? You want to tell us about this year? Some sports.
1954, Rocky Marciano beats Ezzard Charles by unanimous points decision in his third World Heavyweight Boxing title. Defense at Yankee Stadium, New York City.
Huh. All right.
He's defending his title.
Yep. I'm going to take that out of our script here because I've got to downsize things.
Oh, there's an important one.
Right here?
Over my hair.
Ah. Well, this is just her term as a minister.
No, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. This is more significant in my opinion here.
1957, Tuskegee boycott begins. Blacks boycott city stores.
Yeah. Part of the civil rights movement and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which, by the
We
way,
learned all about that last night.
yeah, no, like I was talking to Loon here this morning about that video, and I gotta watch it again, and I really want him to watch the whole thing through.
Gotcha.
You don't have to do it in one hit, but don't put it down because you disagree with it.
You're gonna have to send it to me.
Yeah,
I can't watch it till you send it to me.
Yeah, oh, I know.
It's like 3 hours.
Yeah,
Me and Xander sent to it last night.
Not in one hit, but you got to give things a fair shake, you know. So, what else do we have? This is I gotta read this book.
1958, Things Fall Apart by Nigerian writer Chinua Achebe, published by Hingman, considered most widely read book in African literature.
Huh.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to breeze through that one, man.
Yeah.
It's a.
Yep.
It's a tagline that sells me. What can I say?
You got 2 more 58s, and then I'll take us into the 60s.
1958, Radio Moscow reports execution of Hungarian ex-premier Imre Nagy.
Yep. He served as chairman of the Council of Ministers, the equivalent of Prime Minister of the Hungarian People's Republic from 52 to 55. He was executed by hanging after a secret trial found him guilty of treason. So this obviously
tried to break away from the
Soviet Union.
USSR,
Yeah.
I would guess.
After Hungary entered the sphere of influence, Nagy served as interior minister and then de facto prime minister several times. But then he was a committed communist and was involved in underground activity within Hungary during 1920s. This guy was all over the place.
I do remember, and I can't remember the year, and I don't know if this is the article, but I remember when Hungary tried to break away and the Russian tanks moving in and crushing whatever it was. I don't know if it was 58 or later. I can't remember. It was probably later.
But yeah, we spoke about a roller coaster last show, and we're doing it again here.
1958, the wooden roller coaster at Playland, which is in the Pacific National Expedition. Vancouver, Canada opened and is still open till this day.
We gotta go check it out.
Wow.
It's possible I've written that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I can't say for sure.
Maybe.
But I have written roller coasters up there.
Yeah.
A wooden one out here at a place called Adventureland, and man, it is rough.
Huh.
Called the Outlaw.
Yeah, no.
And you're just like.
Yeah, wooden coasters toss you around. I mean, like.
They're brutal, man. Don't get one if you're old, man.
Yeah, well, like. When I was
you're all banged up already, like me.
When I was younger, I wanted to become a roller coaster enthusiast, and I loved riding coasters. But there were several times where, like, the ride was so rough, it literally gave me a splitting headache at the end, and it killed the rest of the day. You can't enjoy
your neck or whatever if it jerks around.
Yeah, but I get off and my head is pounding, and it's not like it's some temporary thing. It lasted for like hours, like pounding headache for the rest of the day in the amusement park. I'm not having fun.
Down the day, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on up to 1963. Here we go, the downfall. Supreme Court rules against Bible reading / prayer in public schools. So here we go. The government coming down and getting rid of religion. You know, like, well...
Yeah, replacing it with another one, like give it 40 years and they'll replace it with this.
Yeah, well, not even that. You know, this is part of the entire plan. Like, see, here's the thing. To coincide with what I said, the government mandates children have to go to school. Well, nobody can really afford good school, so then the government just so happens to have government-sponsored education, and then in turn the government takes religion out of it because even though it's not a law, we have to separate church from state. You know, that's an unwritten rule. You know, of our nation.
Unwritten is the key.
Yeah,
nowhere in the Constitution does it say that.
Yeah, so, but like it's an unwritten rule, separate church from state, and this is how we turn an entire society into godless heathens. We make it so we force people to get into an education. We make it so we force people into government education because they cannot afford, because of government interference, of having the money to afford school. Everything is of the government. Like, everything is played and manipulated of the government, and then they take religion from us. Like, do people not see what's happening? Hello? You know? I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to promote religion or anything, but to sit here and force people into something and then take something away from a backbone of society, that is evil. That is evil.
The whole concept of separating church and state came from a letter. I can't tell you from who or to who, but it was, I believe, raising a concern that we can't have one powerful religion, and they were concerned about the
return of the Dark Ages. You know,
no, the religion in England, which was, you know, the one recognized by the country.
Yeah,
and it was really powerful.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that well.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though. Moving on up to 1965, we have 11.08 inches or 28.14 centimeters of rainfall in Hawley, Colorado. That is their state 24-hour record. All right, that's pretty cool. While that was going on, we also have the first bombing by B-52, 50 kilometers north of Saigon, so Vietnam. So B-52, is that the Strato Fortress, right? I believe so. So let's take a look at this bird. I think it is the Strato Fortress. This plane, which is nuclear capable. Mm. That's the same aircraft that was used in Dr. Strangelove.
Oh.
That's the same aircraft that dropped the bomb and began the end of the world. The Strato Fortress. We also have 1965, British rock band The Kinks arrived in New York City, beginning their first U.S. tour.
The Kinks. Yeah.
Yeah. I put that in there partially because of you and partially because of the Beatles. So, like, and obviously the Beatles were first, right? Like, they came in. So this is them, like, you know, riding the coattails of fame.
The English invasion.
Yeah. The British invasion. The British invasion. The second time they invaded. This time they succeeded.
What year did they come here?
65.
Yeah.
So, 1967, Barbara Streisand, which is a swear word in the South Park universe. A happening in Central Park concert performance for an audience of 135 people.
135.
No, 135,000.
There
sorry.
You go. Thank you.
1,000. My bad. So that's weird. In our main source here, it doesn't even say the amount of people. It just said, you know, the concert occurred. So I don't know where I figured this out, but maybe from some other source. Also in 1967, China became the world's fourth. God help us if they were the first. Fourth thermonuclear power by exploding a hydrogen bomb. Yikes. So, 1967 as well, we have the longest doubleheader, 9:15 Tigers and Athletics. I don't know what that means, but
9 hours 15 minutes.
Yikes.
They played doubleheaders 2 games.
Yikes. That's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, how many 7th inning stretches are in there?
2.
Yeah. Now I'm going to take this 69 here, just because I love saying it. Calcutta opened in New York City, almost entirely in the nude. So.
Well, does he have subtitles?
But does he have something? You got the wrong accent there.
I know. I don't have an accent.
Yeah. But we got here in 1971. Good. Some music stuff here for you.
1971, Carole King's album Tapestry goes to #1 on the U.S. album charts and stays there for 15 weeks.
Nice. Oh. And this next one is kind of sad, but we just.
1972, 9 firefighters are killed in the Hotel Gundam fire in Boston.
Yeah. I mean,
Salutes to the firemen, man.
Yeah.
Job I don't want.
Yeah, firefighters and police officers are as close as you're going to get to the civilian branch of any kind of military anything, because they're out there. You don't know if you're gonna live or die. Yeah. You don't know if you're gonna get shot. I mean, for cops, like it's so easy to sit there and say ACAB. It's so easy to sit there and say defund the police. Well, why don't you put a badge on and go do a routine traffic stop and get popped? You don't know. You don't know. And then for firefighters, you don't know, if you're going to go in there and if you're going to come out. You can die of smoke inhalation. Well, there's this one story out there of this firefighter who gave his mask to a kid he was rescuing, and he later died from the smoke inhalation. Yeah. Like, he died saving a life. These are people putting their necks out on the front line. They are heroes. I agree, yes. 100%. So, we got to give credit where credit is due. We really do as a society. So, we have another 72 here. This one's not good as well for different reasons.
1972, Chilean President Salvador Allende forms a new socialist government. Oh.
He's a Marxist and president of Chile. So, yeah, there we go. Yeah. South America, a lot of fascist, communist, dictator, totalitarian nations, whatever you want to call them. So, another 72 here.
1972, 5 men arrested after trying to bug Democratic National Committee office in Watergate Complex, Washington.
Yeah.
The downfall of Nixon.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to... I am actually, extremely hungry right now, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off the rest of the show. We're already an hour in, but there's a lot of stuff. I highly encourage people to go to our sources and look things up. There's a lot of stuff. We're just halfway of the script here, but as I said, I am incredibly hungry, and if I don't eat, I'm going to start getting...
Only halfway?
We're only halfway.
Wow.
So I'm going to go ahead and, wrap us up here. That shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. We're not just on Rumble or on YouTube. We're also on BitChute and Odyssey and other places. Please check our link tree and all that stuff. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We have other shows. We have the Omni Coalition News Show. Weird, odd, unusual, notable events, weather, and sports on Freya's Day, Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. The Edge of Disclosure, trying to get that off the ground. Talk show is coming up, actually later today, in about 2 hours and 50 minutes. And we have other shows that we're trying to get off the work. So if you want to see us live, you can catch us if you're on the West Coast at 11 and 3, all for thee. 12 and 4, watch us for more if you're Mountain. Central, 1 and 5, they can contrive, and East, 2 and 6 for your fix. So for all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
King's Refuge.
Golden Moon.
And you are you. Thank you very much for watching. And until you catch us some other point, whether it be talk show later today or a history show or whatever, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Deuces.